Many of you viewers out there are like, CycleCruza, you need to step up and get the Busa, because this is the big boy's bike, all kinds of torque. My response is, I'm not really into these big heifer sport bikes, but you know what? Suzuki stepped their game up and they came out with an all-new Hayabusa that's better from top to bottom. I'm gonna break it down on whether it's worth it or not.
Let's go for a ride.
This is the best helmet I've ever owned. Ultra lightweight carbon fiber helmet with auto tint shield, my motovlog camera, airbag vest to help keep me safe. I have links to all of my gear in the description and comment section of this video. Suzuki has made some really amazing changes to this bike underneath, which I'll get to in just a minute. But looking at the bike, it really pretty much looks the same as the previous generation bike, but they did make some changes where it's more aerodynamic. They added LED headlights and tail light, but it's still ugly. I don't know, Japan has a real problem with making a lot of ugly motorcycles, and this one stinks. Somebody break out the Lysol. No, I'm just kidding, man. I don't really care for the looks, but I know a lot of you guys think it looks good. But you know, once you throw a leg over the bike, the looks don't matter anymore. And I'll tell you, this bike has changed tremendously underneath. It's got all kind of performance changes, starting with the engine where all the internal moving parts were revised. So now the 1340cc inline 4 beast of an engine actually produces less peak horsepower, but it has more low-end to mid-range power. So now it's got all that bottom-end grunt, what you want for the streets. So it has a quicker 1/8 mile time and now 6.8 seconds, and does 0 to 62 miles per hour in a lightning quick 3.2 seconds. So it has 188 horsepower and 111 foot-pounds of torque, with a top speed of 185 miles per hour. Not only does a new Busa pack better bottom end and mid-range punch, but it's also made it to a new 2-level quick shifter for lightning fast up and down quick shifts for its 6-speed transmission. It has a new ride-by-wire system with 6-axis IMU, and check this out with the new rider aids. It has 10 levels of traction control, 3 levels of engine braking, 3 levels of launch control, and this new feature, which is a speed limiter, where you can actually set the speed so the bike doesn't exceed that. So now you don't have to worry about getting caught by the cops and end up in jail with the booty water and losing your license. Also, it has low RPM assist that prevents stalling, so when you hit stops, you don't have to worry about stalling the bike anymore. It has cruise control. It even has heel hold control, so that when you're on a hill, you don't have to worry about the bike falling backwards. And check this out, they upgraded the braking system with new premium Brembo Stylema calipers with new 320mm discs up front, and a new high-end ABS brakes. It helps with cornering, with slope awareness, reduced skidding, and rear wheel lift mitigation. And also it has combined braking, where you activate the front brake, it activates a portion of the rear brake as well. But check this out, I like what they did with the new instrument cluster. It's a mix of old school and new school. They did keep the analog gauges on the left and right side, but in the middle they put a new TFT enhanced LCD panel that provides more information. I really like that, because when you crank the throttle on the bike, it's nothing like seeing that needle fly up and hit up high up in the RPMs, man. That just, I don't know, it just gives me a thrill and a rush. That's what I really miss about the old bikes. And also they mated this with a new switch gear to control all the rider aids, which you'll have access to that information in that new LCD screen in the middle. Also, the bike has a new lighter subframe that saves 1.5 pounds. It has a new lighter weight exhaust system with a dual stage cat. So now the bike weighs 582 pounds, which is 4 pounds less than the previous generation, while it still has a 5.3 gallon fuel tank, but it has a new 31.5 inch seat height. It has new LED headlights and turn signals and new LED tail light. It has updated aerodynamics for the body, which it still looks pretty much the same to me, but they claim that it has a modest improvement on the lift and stability at high speeds. Comes in 3 new colors: glass sparkle black, candy burnt gold, and pearl brilliant white with metallic matte silver blue. The bike is $3,800 more than the previous generation, which is a lot, but there are a lot of great changes to this bike. So the bike now comes in at $18,599. By the way, for an additional charge, you can add the seat cowl accessory for the rear, which improves aerodynamics and it makes the bike look much better, in my opinion. I would definitely get that accessory. So what do you think about the new Suzuki Hayabusa? Leave a comment. As far as my opinion, I think they made some absolutely fantastic changes to this bike. But this type of bike is not my style. Like I said early in this video, I've never been into these, the big, heavier sport bikes. But there is a great following for this bike. I mean, there's a lot of people that absolutely love the Boost. I have friends that have one and they love it. And, all that matters is you get a bike that meets your preferences and a bike that you love. It doesn't matter what I think or anybody else thinks. And I think it's fantastic that we have so many amazing different types of motorcycles to choose from. As you guys know, my favorite are lightweight, quick bikes with some great bottom end power. That's why I'm into Supermotos. Like I have my custom 2019 YZ450FX Supermoto, which I absolutely love. And I have a 2020 Yamaha MT-09 that has a lot of bottom end grunt and it's fairly lightweight at like 405 pounds wet. So like I said, I'm not really into the big hefty bikes, but if you are and you love the Busa, you really can't go wrong with this bike because they made some really cool changes, man. I'll tell you. And I'll never say never because I never said I'd buy a Ducati Cruiser, and I bought that Ducati X Diavel, which is actually lighter weight than this Booster. That only weighs 542 pounds and probably has every bit as much grunt and power as this bike. And I absolutely loved that bike. I loved it, man, but I was too cheap for a Ducati. That's why I go back to the Japanese motorcycles. They're more reliable and they're cheaper to maintain. So again, you can't go wrong with this new Busa. So like I said, leave a comment. Let's talk about it. That's why I do these videos, to help incite community discussion.
But anyways, guys, don't forget to subscribe to my all-in-one motorcycle channel. And
thumbs up. Check out my playlist for new riders and popular videos. Don't forget to comment and subscribe and check out my other channel, Bug Out Moto, where I customize a van for my motorcycle so I can live in my van with my motorcycle and travel across the country anywhere. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Bug Out Moto.